This might sound bad, I don't know. So I got the What If Wings of Fire thing from Cypress. I'll put a channel link in the description. So this is what if Peril was not only was like saved, aka Kestal was able to like get her, and then instead of Glory in the prophecy, they put her as the Skywing, you know? Okay, I'm just gonna get right into this. Have fun watching this be paint. Peril had never been a normal dragon per se, but she had always been flying around with Kestrel, constantly moving island to island or some spot in the Tollens of the Peace. After a while, the prophecy was apparently about to start getting done, whatever that meant. She didn't know what she was meant to do. I mean, she was wanting to stay with her mother Kestrel, but she didn't know if she was going to even be like allowed near the dragonettes. She was literally fire after all, and it was hard. Apparently, that she merely escaped, and their mother's Tollens was scarred. Like, scarred. Perla didn't know when the eggs were collected that she was gonna be one of them. But other than that, she'd come with her mother and other dragons, a sandwing named Dune and a seawing named Webbs. After a while, they went to under the mountain and they started gathering the eggs. But Hivita never came back. Along with, I forgot her name, whoops. Yeah. After a while, Christian went out to check and then brought back the news that Hivita was dead and that the Skywing egg was unable and had died. That was not good. Webb suggested that he'd go and grab an egg, but they said Kestrel declined and said it would be too risky to get another. So, after a while, they suggested to put Perla in the place. She was a bit older, 2 years by now, but yeah, sure, but she wouldn't be able to be in the prophecy, right? What would Marcia think? But that was other than the point. A few years in a while, the dragonettes had grown up a bit. She wasn't really kept near them. Understandable, because she would have set them on fire. Like everyone. She already burned her mother many times from accidentally running into her or running into someone. Thank goodness these are caves and not grass or trees. Clay was her favorite dragonette. Well, they were basically the same age. They were both dragonettes. Pearl quite liked Clay, to be honest. Tsunami was ferocious and really defiant. Sunny was sweet and a bit strange for a sandwing without a tail bob. And Starflight was annoying to her. He did not stop talking. She was tempted to set him on fire multiple times, but eventually decided not to because she'd be severely in trouble. So, how long would she be here for? She didn't really know. But after a while, the Marcia came. Well, no, the other dragonettes were only 6 or 7. She didn't really know the time, to be honest. He didn't really like some of the dragonettes. He said Tsunami and Clay had a good fighting spirit. They will do, and he just said they will do, and they're enough for now. He gave Pearl a bit of an eye narrow, but passed her off. He didn't really like Sunny, and Starflight he took to have a weird meeting with. She was kind of worried, but she didn't care. She was alive, and he liked Clay enough, so that was fine for her. Kestrel was scoffing and annoyed, but she didn't really care, to be honest. She just said she wanted the prophecy to be over and done with. Apparently now the Dragonets are planning escape plans. What? She said. We have to escape. There's Tsunami, chained up from being defiant and yelling at Marcia. We can't escape, Peril said. We still haven't done what we need to, and Kestrel would not. I don't care what Kestrel thinks, Tsunami said, scowling as she flared her wings, still chained. We need to get out of here before they get rid of us, or worse. They can't get rid of us. We're the Prophecy Dragonets, Sunny protested, obviously not believing that the Guardians would do anything bad to them. You already seen how Kestrel is near us. She already tries to murder Clay each time. Perla didn't really protest against that. Yeah, Kestrel was her mother, but she wasn't the nicest dragon. I mean, she could be better and a bit less harsh on the Dragonets. After a while, the Dragonets debating, and Perla just sitting and watching, because she really didn't want to be there with any of the chaos going on. She eventually joined up with the Dragonets. She wanted to go outside again. She only saw the sun for a while, and then she was forced below in a cave, and then forced into a destiny she wasn't meant for. So, after a while, Tsunami said she'd go out and swim for the river. Perla didn't really know how to help, since it was a rock blocking the entrance, and not a wood, which she would be able to burn through, and water was not her thing. AKA, she was a skywing and would probably drown. After a while, the boulder slowly creaked open. Tsunami was waiting on the other side. She was gesturing and whispering for everyone to rush out, but after a while, a skywing came through. Bright orange scarlet scales. And then, everyone fell into a panic. Starflight just narrowed his eyes and then guessed Queen Scarlet. Perla didn't know, and then after a while she remembered some of the history lessons that unfortunately she had to take part of, because, you know, Starflight was not stopping rambling. So, a bunch of guards came in. Perla just kind of jumped in front of Clay and spread her wings. She didn't know what to do. She just yelled, "Get back!" and so stood there. Since they couldn't touch her, since they'd be lit on fire. Few of the guards tried to, but eventually the scales would catch on fire and start getting scorch marks. Of course, they did not like that one of the many skywing fire scales had not been thrown off a cliff yet. Normally, skywings, if you're too different or have too strong, you get thrown off a cliff, even though you benefit them in the war. Of course, Scarlet was doing her normal, are these Dragonets? They must be from the Prophecy, and just started kidnapping everyone. She grabbed Dune and snapped his neck, killing him. She wished she could have stopped it, but she didn't really know Dune, but she'd been with him for years. She eventually sprinted towards Scarlet when she was trying to knock out all the other Dragonets and take them with them, and she caught the side of her face, leaving a big scorch mark and blinding her eye. She yelped, screaming back, and clutching her face, the side of her face. It was chaos after that. They were still in the cave. The guards rushed over and tried to get Peril away, but one of them burned to death from his wounds, so trying to shove Peril away. They were left alone after that. But Kestrel had also been killed in the process. How? One of the guards managed to catch her, and Scarlet just said, "Get rid of her," and then eventually they found Kestrel being murdered. She was broken. Her mother had died, and she had just killed the dragon. Sure, she was trying to attack her and the dragonettes and her friends, and killed Dune and Kestrel, but it still fell off. But she didn't like how she didn't care so much. She eventually went with the dragonettes, who fled, not wanting to go scenes. Webbs had already run off like a coward, she thought. They thought they'd go for try to fulfill the destiny, the prophecy, the best that they can. I mean, she was really just the wings of fire in a literal sense, but she still wasn't meant to be in a prophecy. She wasn't a skyling egg, and she was old and wasn't born on the brightest night. But everyone really knew that. They flew over to the Mudwing place in Delta Spring River, over there in the lowest classes, they said. No. Peril went with Clay to find his parents, or someone he knew, or was related to, not knew. After a while, they'd already found out that Clay was fireproof accidentally when she bumped into him during walking around. But they couldn't really freak out because no one really knew who Peril was. They didn't know the Prophecy Dragonette. She was just another Skywing ally with a Mudwing. After walking for a while, and going to Ash's sister's den, Cattail, they were told, she didn't seem very happy to see Clay. Apparently Clay had been sold for 2 cows to the Prophecies, to Asher, to bring to the Prophecy since they just didn't care. Apparently Mother Dragons just have weird mating nights, have kids lay eggs, and then leave. Clay was kind of devastated at that. But they did run into siblings, apparently, who had bumped into them and said, "Hey, you were talking about the blood red egg, right? Whoever was in the egg, are they okay?" And Clay just pointed to himself, and said, "Oh, I'm from the egg and I was wondering." And one of them stepped forward and said, "I'm Reed. I think you're all big wings," he said slowly. Perla just kind of sat and watched. She got bored, but it was nice to see Clay being happy. She didn't know if she'd be able to even make her father. Probably dead like her mother now. Like everyone was, really. It was a war, everyone was dying, but still not any better. Okay, that's where I'm gonna leave it. I know it's not the best written, and it's kind of my first kind of what-if video. I hope you did enjoy it though, and if you did, leave a like and maybe do a suggestion. I'm working on what if Tsunami was an animus, because she could be an animus, you know? But yeah, I might, if you really liked it, just say, "Oh, part 2, please." Like, if enough people say it, I will. I haven't read the books in a while, so I'm sorry if there is mistakes and stuff. And if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching so much. And if you want, you can drop a sub. I don't really mind if you don't, or if you don't like this, dislike. I don't really care what you do. And yeah, feel free to give me suggestions on how to improve this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.